Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Bernie here, and in this video, I will compare the photo styles of the GH5 versus the GH6. What would be the result? Is the GH6 really better than the GH5 or vice versa? Let's find out right now. This test is not scientific in any way, and you won't see any charts here. Just some random stuff that I have found lying around. And another thing to note is that I will only use the photo styles that can be found in both cameras, just to be fair. Alright, first one is the standard photo style of the GH5. And I don't ever use the standard photo style since it's too contrasty in my opinion. Maybe I'll use it if, let's say, there's no Cinelike D or Cinelike D2 from the GH5. This default standard photo style will only be useful in my opinion if you're live streaming, so that your footage will already have color. And since the live stream will also be published afterwards, so this will definitely save you time in post. Next is Vivid, and just like the standard photo style, I don't ever use this one. It is because it's too contrasty, more than the standard photo style. But at the end of the day, it's good that it's an option because who knows, you might want to use this someday in your future videos. And as you can see in this comparison video, they're almost identical. The only thing that I noticed is that the footage from the GH6 is cleaner. Next, this one is natural. A lot of users of the GH5 use natural photo style for their wedding films. But for me, my choice is still Cinelike D, or this time around with the GH6, it's Cinelike D2. Now moving on to the next one, this is monochrome, and as you can see right now, they are actually identical. But maybe for you, you will see some changes, but for me, it looks the same. So let me know in the comment section below if there's a difference for you. And now this time around, let's take a look at the other monochrome photo styles of the GH5 versus the GH6. And next photo style for the GH5 is scenery, and this one is only available on the GH5. Whereas on the GH6, this is actually called landscape. Correct me if I'm wrong if it's not the case. If you compare the footage, they are almost similar. And now moving on with this next photo style, which is portrait. And as you notice that there's a difference, a slight difference actually from the GH5 versus the GH6. As you can see right here, as I mentioned a while back, GH6 footage is way cleaner in my eyes. And now we've come to my favorite photo style of them all, which is Cinelike D and Cinelike D2 for the GH6. So when I use Cinelike D or Cinelike D2, I tweak the settings a bit. But this time around, for the purpose of this test, I have everything on default so you can see what the footage really looks like straight out of the camera. I use Cinelike D all the time. It is really that good. Alright, another photo style that I actually considered using way back. But upon extensive testing, I figured that this photo style is really not for me. Why? Because again, it's too contrasty. And I will say over and over again that the GH6 has more contrast out of the box compared to the GH5, as you can see in these examples. But again, all these are subjective. It doesn't mean that if it's not working for me, it won't work for you too. So choose whatever you want and what best fits your workflow. And now we are down to our last photo style, which is like 709. And speaking of like, it is like the Cinelike D2 and Cinelike D of the GH5. They are almost identical, but I haven't used this photo style yet. I would say you can't go wrong with like 709 as well. And there you go, what do you think? Which photo style do you like best and from which camera? Does the GH6 perform better than the GH5 when it comes to this comparison? You know, for me, I like the GH6 way better, but really in my eyes, I don't see any big difference or any significant change at all, and the results were great from both cameras. Alright, that's about it for this GH5 versus GH6 photo style comparison video, and I hope you find it helpful. And if so, give it a like and don't you forget to subscribe, and while you're at it, click that bell notification icon to be notified with more awesome videos. This is Bernie. I will see you next time. Goodbye for now.